Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over the basics of variables and how they're used in programming. So what exactly are variables? Variables are basically containers of information or data that we can use in the program to have a better and efficient code. So let's get into the example. Let's say that we're working in a bank and we're writing a program to simulate and represent a user trying to set up their account. The first thing that we might want to do is create a variable for the user's account number. To create a variable in Java, we must follow two steps: declaration and initialization. First, we need to declare the variable. To declare a variable, all we need to do is specify the data type of the variable and then the name of the variable. One thing to keep in mind is that we want to choose a data type that best represents the variable that we're trying to create. In this case, an int would be the best choice since we don't need decimals. To declare the variable, all we need to do is type int and then the variable name. Let's call it account number, followed by a semicolon to end the statement. So now we've declared the variable. What we've done so far is create a variable that the compiler will now recognize. Notice that right now there is no value given to the variable. To give this variable a value, what we need to do is called initialization. To initialize a variable in Java, all we have to do is type the name of the variable, so account number, followed by the equal sign, equals, and the value that we want to give it. Let's say the user's account number is 123456. And then we've got to finish off with a semicolon to end this statement. So what we've done here is declared and initialized a variable. Now we can use this variable for other functions or processes without running into errors with the compiler. For example, let's try printing out the variable using what we learned in the previous lesson. To do this, we'll do system.out.println, and the parentheses, and now we can just put the variable name inside the parentheses. Notice how we don't have double quotes around the variable's name since we're not printing out the variable's name, but rather what the variable holds. And here we see the expected output of 123456. Using a variable lets us reduce the amount of code we may need to write since we don't need to change the value every time and instead can just change the variable. For example, if we need to print out the user's account number multiple times and they wish to change their account number, it'll be a lot easier to change what the account number was initialized to rather than changing every print statement where the variable is not held. Another key aspect of variables is that we can reinitialize them to a different value. For example, let's say the user wants to change his account number to 123457. To do this process, all we have to do is the same thing as the initialization. So put the name of the variable, followed by the equal sign, and then the value that you want to reinitialize it to, 123457. Notice how we did not specify the data type since we're not declaring it, but really we're reinitializing the variable. If I were to print this out, we should see the updated account number. And upon execution, we see that indeed we get an updated account number of 123457. So let's try this process with a non-primitive data type, such as a string, for example. Let's say that the user wants to hold a string data type called username for perhaps their username in the account. Java lets us declare and initialize a variable in the same line. To do this, all we need to do is declare the variable, so string username, and then we initialize in the same line by putting the equal sign and the value that we want to initialize it to. Let's say that his username is Santa. Notice how we declared it here and initialized it in a single line. Now, let's print out the variable and see what happened. So system.out.println, followed by the username inside the parentheses. When we execute this, we should just see Santa being printed out. And here we see that Santa was printed out. Another important thing to keep in mind is that you want to have descriptive and accurate variable names. This is to promote code maintainability and readability. When other people may see your code, it helps them have a better understanding of what's going on if you have accurate and descriptive variable names, since having obscure variable names may complicate things in trying to understand what the code is about. Also, if you go back and try to look at what your code means, it'll be a lot easier to understand when you have better and more descriptive variable names. So that was it for today's lesson about variables. If you guys have any questions or concerns, feel free to comment down below. You guys can reach out to us with your contact information down below, and remember that our GitHub file will be linked for all the code that was used in today's video. Feel free to check out our website for more information about who we are and more resources to help you on your coding journey. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys liked the video, please leave a like down below and subscribe, and check out other videos for more useful information for the basics of Java.